right, yo. It's the Black Wrecellence podcast. It seems that I only come back for some special occasions these days. Look it, we are back with my two favorite black wrestling journalists. We got Phil Lindsey from Bleacher Report and Andrew Thompson from Post Wrestling. I can't talk today. I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves. It might be better than what I just did.
I mean, that was fine. I mean, Bleacher Report, Daily DDT. That's where you can find my work. This is Phil, of course, but I'm not a journalist.
Oh, I forgot. Damn, I forgot from last time that I disrespect Phil when I call him a journalist.
It's not disrespect. I just don't want anybody to get confused, man.
Oh, I know. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness, bro.
And Andrew, what's good with you, man?
Phil, Reg, my guys, man. What's going on, fellas? A pleasure as always, man.
Right. Man, so look, this has been an absolutely insane week of pro wrestling already. It's been like 4 days. But on Monday night, one of the most insane things that has happened in years, something I didn't expect to happen, some Andrew didn't expect to happen, some Phil didn't expect to happen. Bobby Lashley won the WWE Championship live on Raw. Where were you? Do you remember? So before this match happened, I did some research. There was 18 black people have challenged for the WWE Championship before this, since 1963. 18 of our brothers, that's it, since 1963. And of that 18, there's only been now, with Bobby Lashley, 3 WWE Championships that were black. 3 of them. So this moment on Monday was monumental. It was insane. I didn't expect it. It seemed like his whole transition into being the WWE champion happened super quickly. So, Phil, how did you feel when The Miz tapped out to that Hurt Lock on Monday?
I don't know if you saw my tweet the next day. So I was really happy for Bobby. I think it's awesome. This has been long overdue. 16 years at this point it took him to get to, WWE World Championship. He's held other World Championships, but this is the one he should have held, a long time ago, especially when he came back in 2018. He was super hot. Like, I felt like they should have, strapped a rocket to him then. But, in all of my pettiness, because, I saw some takes, and, everybody, I won't say everybody, most people that follow me know Shelton Benjamin's my guy. Like, I'm a big Shelton guy. I, have been, saying for a long time I thought Shelton should have won a WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I was doing my usual campaigning for Shelton at one point, and there were a lot of people like, man, Shelton's overrated, or, they threw out a certain name they said was better than Shelton. That guy was The Miz. So the next day, I just saw pictures of my man laid out, because he got stretched out by Bob. And I was like, man, this your guy?
Oh my God. Bob took him to the woodshed, boy.
Put some respect on my man Shelt's name. Don't be trying to, say other guys are better than him and, they were ducking the smoke all night.
Definitely. Most definitely. How'd you feel, Drew?
Man, my favorite part of seeing Lashley win the world title was that camera shot they got of him, like as soon as he let the Miz go after Phil said after he stretched him out, like dude, Bobby Lashley's like eyes were like bloodshot red, and like in the sense that you could tell he was like hella emotional. Like you could tell like in that moment like how much that meant to him, and he like I'm pretty sure like once he heard the bell ring, then it like really kicked in, and then of course you hear the ring announcer and all that, so you could just tell that moment meant a lot to him. And it was cool as hell to see like you had Sheldon and Cedric on the outside jumping up and down, and then you had the OG man coming in the ring, rightfully so. MVP stepping in the ring, and I think MVP was the one that handed him the championship. So yeah, that was cool, man. Like Bobby Lashley, the third black WWE champion. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that graphic out there with The Rock, Kofi, and Bobby. I think Bobby was in the center because he's the most recent. and Kofi was flanking him on the right, and The Rock was on the left. So like just seeing that, man, and just know the significance of his title win. I think what wasn't Bob Lee the first the first black TNA World Heavyweight Champion? I
Yes.
think because Rich Swann's the second, currently Impact World Champion. So yeah, man, Bobby Lashley done made some he done made some history. But like Phil said, I think this is the one that kind of and not to demean any other company's championships, but like I think this was the one that he felt the most because he's been chasing it for so long and he finally got it. And I know he's been like doing some media, like talking about how, in a couple years he was thinking about maybe wrapping it up. So I'm glad that he got his big moment. And I definitely don't think that this should be a thing where he should be a feeder for a Drew McIntyre special at WrestleMania. I don't think that's the way to go. I think they need to give Bobby the match that I want to see, that most people want to see. I want to see the Brock match. And then I want to see him take that thing all the way to the fall, and then wherever they go from there, they go from there. But I just want him to get a lengthy title reign with actual feuds that means something, opposed to it being some hot shot thing because he's hot right now, and just to use him to get Drew McIntyre back on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, of course the stat is we got the 3 WWE champions there, but Black man has never successfully defended the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. The Rock has never successfully defended it. Kofi's the only one that has won the title at WrestleMania. So, I want my man to stand tall at WrestleMania, man. It was, and I think that people miss that that's part of what made Kofi's moment so important, that he won it on such a big stage. And I just want to see Bobby not only main event the headline the pay-per-view, but I want him to see him stand tall, man. Give him his moment and let him defend the title.
Right. No, I agree, like 100%. I think that's the way to go. Like have him have his moment, man. And I think he need to take that thing because like I genuinely want to see him get the win over Brock. Like that's like that's like one of my, because I feel like Lashley is so stamped in right now,
right?
That wait, do y'all remember, I want to say June 2019 or 2018, when Lashley, when he beat Roman Reigns, and he was supposed to challenge for the world title or something along those lines, but they never gave him the shot.
Yes,
and I was
heated,
bro. Bro, the crowd went crazy when he beat Roman. I was like, bro, they won it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I was surprised they never took it there back then. But you know what, bro? Like, hindsight being 2020, I think now, unfortunate as it is via the pandemic and there not being able to be people in attendance, because I like just over the past 5 months or so, like there is no way the Hurt Business are heels. It's just not that they're not heels, bro. They are baby faces either way you look at it, bro. But like yeah man, like I would have loved for Bobby to have his moment in front of fans, but like I think this was like the perfect storm, like having MVP by his side and Sheldon and Cedric. Like I know a lot of people would have loved, including me, to see Leo Rush right beside him. Like I was thinking about like if somewhere down the line, like at one of these pay-per-views when over the summer, how WWE gets, like they have those pay-per-view stretches when like it's just like you barely even watch the stuff and they just do it to build up to the next big one. I was thinking like one of those to build some excitement. You can have like Leo accompany him to the ring. Like you could have him like before the theme song even hit. You could just have Leo from behind the curtain come out, Lashley. I'm like, bro, if people were actually there, bro, they would go crazy for that. But yeah, man, I'm glad to see Lashley as champion. I'm pretty sure you guys feel the exact same way.
Yeah, I mean, even if they do like a celebration segment this next week on Raw, and they just had clips of other people that were happy for him, and one of them was Leo, that'd be really cool.
Oh,
right.
They about to take your idea, Phil.
They
about to take your idea, Phil.
That point you made earlier, Andrew, is funny because right when he won the belt and that emotion, you can see it. It's weird. It's interesting in that point because I think some wrestlers are like the finish could change at any moment. Like throughout the match, Vince could be like, "Yo, no, I changed my mind." keep the belt on the Miz, and Lashley is not gonna. I think that's probably in the back of their mind every time. And then when they finally hear the 1, 2, 3, and they're like, "Yo, no, I actually won. I did this." And that emotion just hits him, and you can just tell right there in that moment. He's like, "Yo, I really did this. I went through all this," and he earned the WrestleMania main event moment by being in that dumb Trump match. Like, you need to get something. Like, you were in that match. You need to get something for being that match, bro. He did that for you, Vince McMahon. So you owe him.
Reparations.
You owe him to give Lashley his reparations, bro. He deserved his WrestleMania reparations.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I think I feel the same way as you guys about the Brock match too, because legit for like the last 5 years, every time anyone has ever talked to Bobby Lashley, he said, "I want this Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania." They're like, "Hey, so what'd you have for breakfast today, Bobby Lashley?" "I have some eggs and some bacon, and I want Brock Lesnar in a match at WrestleMania." Every time he's ever done an interview, he's like, "Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar." It's only fitting, man. It's just like, it's there. They called him the Black Brock Lesnar when he started in WWE. It's like, yo,
They did call him that.
Yeah,
they did call him that. I remember that.
This showdown has been looming for years now. So many years. It's there. Write it in. Bring Brock, unless Brock Lesnar is at AEW on Sunday. What do you guys think?
There you go. There you go. No, but you want to know what's crazy though? Like I've seen like Lashley say in those same interviews, like him and Brock have only met like twice, like legit face to face. Like they like it. Like I'm just curious to see how they would. Yeah, like in person. Like I'm just curious to see how like they would clash in the ring. Like I feel like they would. Like I feel like people would be like genuinely like very very surprised at like the match that they would have. Like I feel like Lashley could probably get the most intensity out of Brock that most haven't been able to. Like I feel like Lashley will bring just that extra little oomph out of Lesnar. But they definitely didn't make that match happen. Don't let them slide to Jacksonville, because once they do that, we can't have a match. So
yeah, I know he keeps saying that Drew is the guy now, and that makes me think that Drew is going to be the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it feels like it.
It just seems like Brock's not coming back. I don't know if I believe he's going to AEW, but Brock has no loyalty to anybody. He's going where the bag is. So they throw money at him. He'll come. But
I think that's the main point.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like if you got money, he's gonna come, bro. Send it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, but I kind of feel like he's not gonna come back until like they are a big crowd again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I was about to say, but like, as much as we are happy about Bobby Lashley being the WWE champion and going to WrestleMania as the champion, we also might have another headlining match. It definitely should close out one of the nights of WrestleMania. Phil, do you want to do the honors, good sir?
Yes, I mean, I think we've been waiting for Bianca to get this moment. I was in disbelief on Royal Rumble night. I didn't think she was gonna win. I kind of felt like they were gonna, do what they always do, build her up and give the win to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So, man, I couldn't be any more happy for her that she got the match. And, getting the match with Sasha is the right call. This is the first time we'll see two black women compete on a WrestleMania card and a title match.
Yes.
And this is long overdue. It definitely should main event one of the nights. A historical match like that. You cannot throw that in the middle of the card. You got to end one of the nights on that match.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that it's happening. I'm still like in WWE mode. Like every week they're gonna be like tomorrow on SmackDown. They're like, just kidding. Actually, here's Charlotte Flair. She's in the like. I'm like, oh my god! Until they're like, ding, ding, ding. I'm just continually thinking about Charlotte Flair coming out somewhere. Just kidding, Charlotte's here. Like, your match isn't the match you thought it was. Or like Becky Lynch. Like Becky Lynch is still looming. Anytime there's somebody looming, I'm just afraid because WWE like, they like for somebody to loom.
They're looming. I'm really worried they're gonna try and slide Carmella in the match. I'm just like, nope. Leave it a one-on-one match. You don't need Reginald around this thing. Get him in his flooding pants out of here. Get Carmella out of here too, man. No, do not put them in this match.
Hey Phil, nah, I like 100% agree with the Reginald thing. Like I was like even when they had their face off on the most recent SmackDown, like when it was made official, and Reginald was right there, I was like, I hope they don't try to like make him like a focus point of this thing, like they trying to like
Yeah.
I mean I could see them and you know Reginald's been doing great. Like I ain't gonna discredit Reginald, but I'm talking about like just specifically in this feud, I feel like Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are all the personalities that you need to take this thing
Exactly.
the next 4 or 5 weeks. Like you don't need
Yep.
Reginald. Now I can see Reginald being a factor over the next 1 or 2 weeks, like just to further advance the storyline, and then you can push him out the way, and then really lock in on Bianca and Sasha for the next 2 to 3 weeks or however many's left up until that point. But like I definitely think that they should try to scale back on trying to put Reginald like in the middle between them two, like because I feel like WWE kind of does that thing where I mean and planning ahead isn't a bad thing, but like I feel
Right.
like they're trying to position Reginald right there, so whoever comes out of WrestleMania will end up right next to Carmella. And again,
Right.
planning ahead is not a bad thing, but just having this big match, like Phil said, you got two black women headlining WrestleMania for the first, should be headlining WrestleMania for the first time. I feel like you need to really spotlight on that. You could get so much like content out of that, like from Bianca and Sasha just speaking on the significance of the match on itself. Like they can
Right.
do so much going into it, and like I'm not even tripping about the or not to say tripping, but like worried about the in ring performance, because I know they gonna body it like
Yeah.
as soon as they get going, because I think Sasha is the best in ring performer, one of the best in ring performers that WWE got, certainly in the women's division. For that's not even a question. The
That's
top
a
of the women's
fact.
division. And yeah, Bianca got all the personality in the world, and she gonna go with the best of them. And I'm amped to see her. I mean, I'm amped to see what they gonna do for her interest at Manny and Sasha's at Will. So I know they're gonna get the big rendezvous for both of their respective interests.
I wonder. Interesting is there's a pay-per-view. There's Fastlane
Yeah.
before WrestleMania. What are they going to do with this SmackDown Women's Champion? Because they're teasing the Roman and Daniel Bryan match. Like, are they going to have Sasha defend against Carmella again? Like, are
Nah,
are we wanting to see Carmella? Why are they still doing this?
I don't. And don't get me wrong. I like Carmella. I think Carmella is, very underrated. I think she is vastly improved in ring. But I mean, they've had 2 matches at this point. Both matches were good. And you can move on at this point. You don't have to keep coming back
Right.
to it.
yeah. Nah, I never.
Right.
But I agree with that. But this WWE. So I definitely I definitely think
See.
we gonna get something like if Reginald
Yep.
beats Bianca Belair at
You
Fastlane and
said,
Carmella gets
oh
inserted into the
God,
WrestleMania 37 title
no.
match. It's funny because we've seen this happen. Like
Yep.
even we've seen this with Oscar a few times. Like
Yeah.
against, but like we've seen the rug get pulled out from under her like right before Mania season come up. So I mean I don't think that they would do that to Bianca and Sasha. I definitely don't think, like I feel like they are aware of how big of a match this is, just with the superstardom that both of them have. But a part of me is like, would they try to throw Carmella and make it a 3-way? I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think they would take Bianca or Sasha out of the match. I don't think they would do that at all.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, but
I could.
I can't put it past like, would they try to make it a 3-way to hold off on the one-on-one Bianca Sasha? But I'm like, dude, like if you Bianca Sasha, this is the perfect space, like WrestleMania.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah.
Like this is where it needs to happen.
Yeah,
Everybody wants it.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't make it a triple threat, but I can see them making it a triple threat because they've got so many people on their roster, and they always do this thing where they try and get as many people on the show as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think Carmella needs to be in that match. I think it'd be a
Mm-mm.
mistake.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
slide Naomi in there if you want to do something.
There you go.
Man, that would be awesome.
Man, they
Man.
need to they need to slide Naomi into her business. That's what they need to do.
That's
Man,
a
hold on, wait.
fact.
No. Hey, y'all want to know what I thought was about to happen? So what segment was that when Naomi, when she got pinned by Nia Jax. Was that like literally right before like the official Lashley Miz match, or was that
It might
before
have
like
been one or
first
two
one.
segments. Sure,
It was at
maybe.
the end of the first hour, right
it was at the end of
before the first one that got called off because he
okay.
had stomach.
Yeah, right.
No, see
right.
what I thought was gonna happen was okay. So what I thought was gonna happen was when Naomi got pinned. Like I thought that the Hurt Business was gonna make their way to the ring, right? And I had this whole scenario in my head, like immediately when I saw that they had announced that the title match was taking place next. I was like, you know what? It'll be cool. Like it'll be just a little subtitle, just a little small little hint, bro. Like if Hurt Business came down to the ring while Naomi was laid out, the simplest thing. This is what you do. You have MVP, Lashley, Shelton, and Cedric. All they gotta do, go to the ring rope, hold the ropes open for Naomi, and that's it. And just let her out the ring. I'm telling you, and help her down the ring or something. Help her down from the ring after she just took her L, and then like have a quick little stay all before Lashley have his world title match. I was like that's just a little thing right there that you could just plant the seed in people's minds, like, oh, Naomi might join the Hurt Business. Like but it's little stuff like that, bro, that they just don't capitalize on. Like
right.
I think Naomi would be like a perfect fit for a female member in the Hurt Business, and she not doing shit anyway. So like, why don't you just give her something that she can like sink her teeth into?
Yeah.
Hey, so I mean that works for so many reasons. We know number one, like Lana and MVP already have history, so I can already see him coming down and standing over Naomi and saying Lana and just looking the other way and helping her out of the ring. That works on so many levels, but you know, I don't know, man. I have been saying for quite a while that Raw's women's segments are bad. They're not doing anything with any of the women that is meaningful. None of it's interesting. They spent too much time on the Flair and Lacey stuff. That was a mess. I don't know what the heck they're doing with Asuka, but you know, in terms of Naomi, I want them to run her title match because she has pinned both champions at this point. She pinned Bayley as champion, never got a title match, and she pinned Asuka. Give her a title match.
Because I remember what was that when Naomi pinned Bayley? What was that? August.
That was Friday before SummerSlam.
Yeah,
damn. Stop the Clock challenge.
Yeah, and I remember she went and had emergency surgery or something like that along those lines. I know she had surgery at some point, right after not right after that, but it was like in the months or weeks following she had a surgery, so she was out. But like I'm trying to figure out like how don't you revisit that stuff? Like if you be the champion, you should. There should be something.
Get a title match.
There should be something like even Nia Jax. She pinned Asuka. She pinned Sasha Banks. On
2 consecutive nights.
It was like So I'm like, you gotta have some in the wings, but like Naomi for the same thing. Like it's like small follow up stuff like that they just don't seize the opportunity on. And like Naomi is money, bro. I think everybody knows that. Like even like I know we talked about it last time we all did the podcast, and I know Red was about to go off when Naomi but like when she came out of the Rumble that year, and the clout that she had on social media after that, like Keke Palmer and all these like famous black actresses, like and people in there. Like just people in a different realm outside of professional wrestling was like, who is this? Who is this? Is it like, what's her name? I want to play her in this movie. Like, dude, how are you not capitalizing on that, bro? If I got Keke Palmer commenting, if I'm running WWE and I got Keke Palmer commenting on something talking about I want to play Naomi in a movie, you know what I'm doing? I'm setting something up. I'm gonna get Naomi to do some type of interview or something with Keke Palmer side by side, something along those lines to just get something out of that. Like they just like, oh yeah, Naomi got all this attention, and then hey, we're gonna see you in a couple months, player. Like, man,
I don't know. To me, I'm gonna be really upset if this goes the way I think it's gonna go, and Charlotte's just gonna challenge Asuka for the match, and they're just gonna give her the match at WrestleMania. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that match is gonna happen, but at least have her, you know, win a number one contenders match. You know, give the other women a shot at number one contendership. You know, you could easily do like a fatal 4-way at Fastlane or something. Do something other than that. Don't just give her the title match, man.
Mm-hmm. let's say, I think that was gonna be the thing. I think they was trying to go through Lacey to do it. Like maybe
Right.
that's how I think she was gonna take the title off Oscar, and then
which is insane. Which is insane.
She was gonna take it from Oscar and then take it to Mania and then drop it to Charlotte. I think that was gonna be the destination, which I don't understand. Like Oscar, she's like, dude, I don't get how you literally got like one of the most talented in-ring performers on your roster, and like she's like it's like whenever they have they need a transitional champion or need a champion just to hold the belt, just to hold it, they like, hey, hit the Oscar button. Like that's like their go-to for like placeholder champions, and she's like really, really talented, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, if Asuka would have lost again before WrestleMania, the way I would have gone off on people, it would have been classic, because I feel like people have been denying this thing with Asuka for quite a while, and I said this, and people were like, nobody was denying it. I was like, please, I have been having this argument with people for almost 2 years. Don't tell me nobody was doing it. No, people have been making excuses for them and Asuka for a long time. And, if they did this again, took the title off of her right before Mania in search of putting Charlotte over again, right, I would have been furious. And
that's disgusting.
I just hope that's not where this is leading. If this is leading to Charlotte getting a match and beating her again at WrestleMania, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get what purpose did that serve.
Reg, I wanted to ask you, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So after Mania, we got of course Sasha and Bianca at Mania. Who do you think is gonna win the match? Do you think they should keep riding the wave of Sasha? Because I think everybody knows Sasha is like one of the more popular performers in WWE.
Yeah,
I think she's the top of the women's division without question right now. Like, do you think they should give it to Bianca right away, or like have her wait till like SummerSlam to get it off Sasha? Because I want Bianca to win it, but I feel like Sasha should retain, bro, just because like I just feel like she's just like on another level as far as like popularity, and she's hot right now. She's been hot, but I feel like with the Mandalorian stuff and like all that stuff that she doing outside of the company, bro, like she's on fire right now. And like you don't want to use the phrase that they always use with black performers, like they always try to say too much too soon. But in this case, Bianca, it's could it be too much too but I mean, but what would be
I think that's the story. I think that's the story they need to run with.
But what would be like, what would it like if they do it at SummerSlam? Is that I mean it's like a 4 or 5 month difference. I don't really think that's 3 month difference, 4 month difference. I don't really think that's like much of a game changer as far as the whole story about too much too soon. But I was just going
I don't know if Bianca should even get the world title this year, to keep it real. I don't even know if it's really exactly the time for that. I think her rise
is organic.
Yeah, exactly. And you just need a little bit more of that. I think that's the story they can use going into WrestleMania, and with Sasha, who I think should get the eventual victory, is like, well, Sasha is like on another level. Like, yeah, Bianca's coming up and she's doing all this and she won the Royal Rumble, but Sasha is up here and Bianca's not here yet. So, and I think the most important thing to me is I think Sasha really needs a WrestleMania victory. She needs a big WrestleMania victory. She needs to leave WrestleMania as the women's champion. She just needs that. And I think, and most importantly, I don't think that this loss would hurt Bianca at all. I think actually I think it'll help actually more than it'll hurt.
What you think, Phil?
I kind of disagree. And the only reason I disagree is because she's been there before. She's gotten so many title shots and lost. And I just don't want to create this narrative that she always loses the big match. She's gotten 4 NXT championship matches and lost all of them.
Yeah.
And I hear it. I don't, on some level, I don't want Sasha to just lose at Mania, because I do think she needs a big win at Mania at some point. Back that same thing I said about the WWE champion. You don't see many black women go into WrestleMania and successfully defend, except for Jazz, because she's a legend and she should be in the Hall of Fame. Just saying.
Yes.
But I just think this is Bianca's time. I think it would be kind of a mistake to just go, oh well, we can always come back to it. It's like, yeah, but I feel like you got strike when iron's hot, man.
This is a pretty good build. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
See, the only thing I will argue against Phil's point is that I can't say with confidence that I believe they can book a Bianca Belair pure white meat baby face that she kind of is right now. I can't see that. Now
they can't book it.
now let's say if Bianca loses at Mania and then that moment sets her character just on another path where she's just like frustrated, angry as hell, like she about to just terrorize and run through the whole roster and just do it while she cocky too. Can you imagine a heel Bianca Belair heading into like, dude, I'm telling, like, because that I feel like the EST thing, like you can get behind it as a baby face, but bro, that's some heel stuff, bro.
It definitely is.
That she's a heel, bro. Like she's confident, cocky. She can go in the ring, athletic as all hell. She's already saying she's better than everybody in every single category. Like she has like everything. Like that could be that like top level heel. Like of course, but the thing is she's good enough where she can do the baby face thing too. But I'm talking about like as far as WWE, like I'm like, okay, they build her up as a baby face heading into Mania, right? So what happens if she beats Sasha? Then what's next?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sasha
like,
rematch?
Probably a Sasha rematch, and then after that, like it's like like it kind of was like the same thing with Kofi. Like Kofi coming out of the WWE title reign, bro. It was, coming out of Mania, it was like they was just throwing whatever at him. Like
because they didn't expect it.
They had him in there with Dolph. Like the Randy Orton thing was good for one pay-per-view, but they dragged it for 3 straight pay-per-views.
Couldn't just let the man beat him clean the first time, which I didn't like.
And let it go, bro. They should have just let him win the first time and just let it go, but they didn't. And they dragged, like the thing was, like they dragged out the Kofi Orton feud, and that in turn kind of soured a lot of people on Kofi when it wasn't even his fault. It was just because people was tired of seeing the same thing. And I feel like they could have did such a better job of building him up. And that's the issue that we getting into, because compared to some of the white champions that they have, these dudes get some of the most interesting storylines, bro. Like the most like. And I know Roman is a person of colors. I'm not trying to jumping on him, but like, do you see how careful they are with Roman, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing they do. No, they are not going to let anything that is even remotely can be soured on get involved with the Roman Reigns storyline. Like, can you imagine if they would have at least tease like prior to Roman, let's say that the Adam Pearce Roman stuff didn't happen. Can you imagine how amped people would be for Black wrestling fans would be to even see Adam Pearce, the idea of Adam Pearce getting back in the ring and it being against Bobby Lashley, and just teasing that, like just having like little stuff like that. I feel like they need to put that same type of oomph into Black champions that they do with their non-Black champions. Like I feel like that's something they need to work on.
Yeah, and I mean they were doing it right with Kofi at first. I loved that he came out the next day and hopped in Rollins' face like, "No, I want your belt too." And I loved that he beat AJ right away. I mean, they didn't, have him struggle with Daniel in the rematch. He beat Daniel Bryan clean the second time. It was just like after that first few months, it was like, I don't know. I always felt like the way he was rolling, it was like they were building him up to lose because of his hubris and to come against Brock and be like, I can beat anybody. And this was the one guy he couldn't. But the reason that didn't work is because he didn't put up a fight against Brock. He just took an F5 and got pinned. It's still the most angry I've ever been watching that programming. And I hate that they did that. I mean, I feel like that made me even more angry than the Booker T and Triple H thing, because I just felt like it went against everything they built for him over
Right.
the 6 months before that. It's just like they just threw it right out the window, and didn't even give the man a rematch. I was quite bothered by him being in an elimination chamber, and he had to be somebody's replacement again. He's a world
Right.
champion. Why
Yeah.
wasn't he in the match from the beginning? And I
Mm.
mean,
Right.
again, I was happy for him. I was glad he got that opportunity, but I want him to consistently get opportunities, man. Like, give this man
Right.
title matches. Like, this dude's a world champion. Act like it.
You know
Yeah.
what? Speaking of Triggered and Phil, I want to get your opinion on something. Last Friday,
Oh.
Apollo Crews announced
Oh,
that
uh, uh,
Apollo Crews announced. Hold on, let me get it out. Okay, Apollo Crews announced that he's Nigerian, you guys, and all the African Americans. He's not like them. He's not from the hood. He's not from the suburbs. He's from Nigeria.
said he's a real African American.
He's a real African.
Hey, my side eye was mean as shit when he said that. hey, no, see, so you know what? I ain't want to take Phil's point because I saw something he tweeted out that kind of made a lot of that. It made a lot of sense. He was like,
Yeah,
he was like, why does when it comes to black people playing heels, why do they always got to play into their specific backgrounds as far
right.
as like ethnicity and stuff go? I'm like, and when I read that, I was like, like when you think about it, like that really makes a lot of sense. So I ain't want to dive too much into Phil's point. That's why I was gonna let him let him elaborate on on what he said.
Yeah.
So, I did write an article about this for Daily DDT. I think it went up like 2 days ago. I was surprised, didn't get that much pushback on this. Maybe people were reading it somewhere and saying this guy, he's always, but I didn't see it. I didn't get too much of it. Somebody sent me a message about it. I won't divulge that conversation. It was some weird stuff that went on in that conversation. I won't, say where that, went, but I wasn't.
Deepin, oh my God.
So, but it just, to me, man, I just got a problem with the fact that, this dude has always been Nigerian. This man has been with the company for how long now? He's been there since 2016,
It's been a
right?
while, yeah.
He woke up last Friday and decided to be Nigerian.
Bruh.
That's what they trying to say.
He hasn't been Nigerian one day in WWE. Not for one day have they been like, this man's not one time, yo.
Oh,
And so, I it's just the fact that he specifically brought it up now as a heel. He never brought it up once as a babyface. He never showed any pride in his heritage before that. Why is pride in your heritage a heel tactic, man? I don't understand, man. Why is him being a proud Nigerian, a heel trait? And I mean, that's not just a black thing. They did. I mean,
it's
that's essentially
everybody.
what they do with Mustafa. It's what they did with Jinder. They did it with Nakamura. They kind of did it a little bit with Asuka when she was heel. It's just, why can't they be, proud symbols of their ethnic group as a face? Why does it have to be a heel move? It's like you paint all of these non-white wrestlers in this negative light, and it's just, even if it's unintentional, I don't know all of the specifics. This could have very well been Apollo's idea,
Right.
but I've heard people say before that they'll have an idea and they'll take it to Vince and he'll like the idea, and then he'll kind of give you back like this warped version of it that's not exactly what you asked for, and you just have to go with it because at least he is letting you do your idea even though it's not how you necessarily wanted it to go. And I feel like this that could very well be possible, because I mean, he is legitimately Nigerian. His parents are both Nigerian. But I just, I had some questions after that promo. I just was sitting there like, all right, I think this is cool. I think, this could be interesting in the same way that Roman uses his Samoan culture in his character. I think there's some interesting stuff you can do with it. But that first promo, man, that was a little rough for me, man. The real African American stuff, and the crazy part about him saying I'm a real African American is that it is intrinsically anti-black. I don't care what anybody says. It is. It's intrinsically anti-black, and that might not have been his intention, but that's just the tone of it. And for him to say that, and then they immediately play the piped-in boos, it was like,
Right.
it just felt off for me, man. And I mean, I really
I felt a way about it, and then I saw a thread on Twitter about how anti-black it was, and I was like, "Yo, yeah."
It was rough, man. And I like Apollo. I think he should have been pushed harder from the get-go. I think he was one of those guys that came up too soon. I never understood why he didn't challenge for the NXT Championship. I mean, he got that one match against Finn Balor. They lost, but I never understood why he, didn't make a real run for the title, and they didn't put the belt on him at some point. I don't know. I liked his reign as U.S. champion, but if this leads to something, if this leads to them taking the Intercontinental title off of Big E later this year and putting it on Apollo, and Big E makes a run for the Universal title, hey, I would love that. But I just this heel stuff and doing a tired foreign heel gimmick is just played out, man. You have to do that every time you do a heel, man.
Like
that same point with Roman is funny because he was a Samoan as a face too. So it's not crazy that he's doing it now, because when he was a face, he still was like, I'm Samoan, I'm this. Apollo ain't been Nigerian for one day, and now all of a sudden he's a Nigerian dude. So
here's the other part about that with Roman, not to cut you off. But Roman's ethnicity is not used in a detrimental way. He's not coming out saying, I'm better than you because I'm Samoan. He's saying I'm better than you because I'm a dog. And he's saying I am the head of the table, and he's using his Samoan culture to enrich the storyline. It's not used in a, you non-islanders, I am better than you. Like, it's not any of that, tired mess.
I'm about to say, you can even look at Drew McIntyre as an example, like embracing his Scottish heritage while being a face, being a face champion. Like, that's like the most recent example that we got. Like, he, like, just like how Phil said, like, it isn't like, as a face, it isn't, oh, I'm Scottish, I'm better than you guys. He's like just thoroughly representing where he's from. And I'm like, why can't why can't Apollo do that exact same thing? And like the whole thing about like as soon as he started talking about him being Nigerian and him getting the piped in crowd boos and stuff, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make sense, like how like blatantly, like, just like they just don't, they kind of like real what's that word called, like tone deaf or like sound, like what's
the funny thing is though, the funny thing is, if there was a crowd though, there would have been what chants, because they've conditioned their fans to be racist too.
I despise the what chant.
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
But and you're right. I think they would have hit him with the what chant. But I mean, even stuff like him going into my grandfather draped himself in gold and he had 5 wives. Can you imagine? It's like, what is that?
He get to bringing up the family relationships. I'm like, he had to bring up he said,
look,
5 wives.
Don't tell me this is a Coming to America 2 promo, bro.
So,
they trying to line it up with the movie release.
Yeah, they are.
Then he threw out this accent that, Jesus Christ, man. I feel like I sound like Alvarez right now. Oh my god, dude! Like, he just breaks out this accent out of nowhere, and I'm like, we have never heard this man speak like this.
Never.
Why are you throwing this fake accent on for this promo? What is this? What does that add to this promo, man?
Can y'all see like one of the white writers backstage being like, hey, can you do it?
Right?
Can you do it? Can you talk? Can you do the thing?
What did he say? I show him the steel, and he'll never disrespect me again. Is that what he said?
Yeah. I think that is what he said. Oh my God.
Apollo,
Unbelievable.
man. I was about to say,
Unbelievable.
Reg, I was about to say though, man. Back on a positive note, we do got For the Culture next month, man. We do got For the Culture next month.
Ooh, wait, the main event: Too Cold Scorpio versus Rich Swann. What?
Hey,
What?
what if Too Cold Scorpio, that Hall of Fame talent that Tony Khan was boosting about?
Oh, I
Oh,
thought about
Ooh,
that earlier today, and I got
yo.
real
ooh.
excited.
I think
Somebody, Phil just interviewed Rich Swann himself, didn't
There
he?
you go.
I did. I interviewed him yesterday. I think the interview should be out before this, but we talked about everything from the match with Too Cold Scorpio and how it was to wrestle somebody that he considers a hero to him, that he looked up
Hmm.
to, and just his run with Impact and coming back from that crazy injury, and
Man.
the retirement segment and the storyline with Eric Young, and of course the stuff with Omega. And I asked him, of course he wants to rematch with Omega, and I asked him, are there any guys that he wants to wrestle from AEW other than him in New Japan? And he told me 3 guys. I'll throw them out there. I think, like I said, I think the interview should be out by then, so
Okay.
it shouldn't spoil anything. But he said, Will Ospreay, um, Darby Allin, and Leo Rush. Those first two, I'm with you. First two, those are probably cool, but I need to see Rich Swann versus Leo Rush.
Oh my
We
God,
need to see that.
yes. Fuck that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, what's the name? Swan versus Rush. You want to know what, bro? I don't know. I feel like that's gonna happen like some point this year.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I really feel like that's
Definitely.
genuinely gonna happen. But like on Two Cold Scorpio, man, I don't think it's like too far fetched to think that he could be that person that they was referring to. See, the only thing that make me think it's not is
Yeah.
because I know Too Cold got a lot of bookings, so I know AEW would at least pull them from at least 2 of them jumps by now. Like,
Right.
it's no way that they would have at least like taken them off. Like, I'm pretty sure by now we would have heard at least something about, Too Cold Scorpio can't make this book. He can't make that
Right.
book, and at least 2 of them. And I think that would have gave me like more confidence to be like, hey, what if they might be bringing it Too Cold, man, for one last
Damn.
TV
That would
run.
be so
That
great.
that 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 would be my
That
only
would be
thing. Like,
amazing.
but he definitely fits the bill in terms of cat. Because like people, I think people have this assumption when you say Hall of Fame talent is automatically associated with somebody that was either in WWE or in WCW or not
Right.
not, not, not not necessarily WCW, but more let's say specifically like WWE Hall of Fame ish, like somebody that's been in the WWE for a period of time or something along those lines. Like you can have people who've been on the independent scene for quite some time that I consider legends. Like I know people
Right.
consider like somebody like Chris Hero, somebody a legend on the independent scene per se. Some people look at him in that light. And Tuco Scorpio is definitely a legend. That ain't even a question about him. You look at just everything that he's done throughout his career and still going. I think it's honestly like and not downplaying anything that he's done in the years prior or decades ago. Like it feels like now, bro, like it's like now it's like more crazier, but just because seeing him
Right.
at the age he is, still performing the
Yes.
way he is and still moving the way he is, when some of his old colleagues, like that's just professional wrestling in general, like they probably can't do half the stuff that he can do,
Yeah.
why both of them are the same age. So
Right.
too cold, man. Like, dude, get this man on TV. Get this man on
Definitely.
TV. Like, you like a part of me. I always wanted him to come out and challenge Cody for the TNT title, do one of those open challenges. And
Oh
I always
Yeah.
thought that would have been cool. Like just like I know it's a place for him. Like I don't necessarily like I can see I can't really see it in WWE, but like I can like 100% see it in AEW, and that's just more so because of how we see AEW kind of portray their legends. And I feel
Right.
like they would have like a real good something, a 4 week or 5 week or just like something like real solid for Two Cold Scorpio, if that was something that could happen.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, the only reason I don't think it's too cold is that, of course, Meltzer, I'm sorry, have to,
Mm.
yeah, have to, go what he said. And he might be completely off base. He might be wrong, but the report is that Meltzer said that it's gonna be a guy that, nobody's gonna believe, and he's one of the guys that Vince thought would never leave. And that doesn't sound like Stone Cold Scorpio. It sounds like somebody else. Um, of course, we heard like in January that there were a bunch of people that were up for negotiation for their contracts and they rejected their offer. So I think there are a bunch of people like Big Show who aren't on contract right now,
Yeah.
and it could be one of them. That's my guess.
Right.
I could see it being like a legend from WCW because Tony Tony Khan seems to really like his WCW legends. Any chance he can bring a WCW guy in, he'll try. I mean, you can even make the case that Paul White is kind of a WCW legend. I mean, of course, he made a name for himself with WWE, but he's kind of a WCW legend. So I could see it being from somebody from WCW. I could see it being somebody we won't expect. Like, is the mystery guy supposed to be the last competitor in the ladder match?
No, that's somebody. That's the thing. That's somebody different. Like the person that's in the ladder match. That's another surprise. So we don't even know who that is.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
I would love it if it was Two Cold Scorpio. I mean, I think the idea.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That the idea of him against Scorpio Sky just sounds amazing, and they should book that match.
They should.
Hey, Phil, no lie. I think Scorpio should win the Face of the Revolution ladder match. They got money on it because they got money in that because Scorpio is coming off a meniscus tear, so like they could literally just tell that story of him like coming back from that injury and like kind of staying real low key about it, and he can like play up like how difficult it was to rehab from that. And he's an athlete, so I'm pretty sure like it was not necessarily easy, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like something tasking for somebody that's like his athletic prowess, I guess is the right word, like to come back from something like that. But like I think it would be cool if he won a ladder match and then they build him up to challenge Darby for the title. I think Scorpio should have been held singles gold in AEW by now, and I mean it ain't got nothing against Darby at all, but like I think it's it's time for Scorpio Sky to get his just due. Like he kind of been, I mean of course now we know now where he's been. Like he's been out with a meniscus tear. I mean ain't nothing you could do about that, but like I feel like even in the months prior, like he could have been prior to the meniscus tear, he could have been doing something more prominent than what he was doing on TV.
Yeah, definitely. I think Scorpio should win. He's my pick to win the match, actually. I don't know if you guys got the same feeling with him on commentary, but it felt like he's turning heel. Like he was very arrogant on commentary.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just certain things he was saying that I know are like in character. Like somebody pointed out that he was like, "Ugh, rap music." I was like, "But Scorpio likes rap music. He has Nipsey in his entrance video." So that's definitely character stuff. So I think he's turning heel. And him as a heel, I'm all for that. I think he's more interesting as a heel. I think he's funnier as a heel. I'm all for that. And he definitely should win, and he should win the title at some point. So I'm gonna raise a question. I've seen a lot of this online. I have my thoughts on it, but I just wonder what you guys think. It was a lot of WWE guys with their chins pretty high over the last few days. They were pretty excited about Bobby. I'm excited about Bobby. But, there was a lot of, talk of representation. There was a lot of talk of WWE's finally getting it right. And the other company that talks about it isn't getting it right.
Oh, shit.
And so, I saw a lot of the talk of this, and I just wondered what you guys' thoughts on that was.
So, I think right now, like, when you talk about representation, I don't really think you can debate WWE in this specific scenario that we got going on right now. Like when you just look at the champions that WWE has or the top contenders that they have in position right now, most, if not all, are people of color or just from some type of different back. Like when you look at, we could run down the champions. Like we got Lashley, got Big E, Apollo in the IC title picture. The Street Profits are always in the tag title picture. That's because WWE ain't got no damn tag teams, but still, they still always gonna be in the title picture. You look down at NXT, Santos Escobar, like it's so many like WWE. And you got Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. Like they have like an abundance of people like either champion or next up. And in AEW, you know, it's like where we at? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just, I mean, but like I saw some of those same conversations too, Phil. But like just right now, I don't really think WWE can be debated on this specific conversation.
Yeah, I'm. This debate is like, I'm into it. I guess I don't really feel. I feel the representation and I can see it. And people post these graphics and these pictures and all these things. And I'm like, oh, I see it, but I still don't really feel it. And you guys know me. I'm black. All I do is look at black wrestling. I don't feel it. Like I felt the Bobby Lashley thing, but I just feel like it's a show. And I could be being wild, and I'm sure people are going to think I'm wild, but it doesn't, I don't feel like, yes, super positive, like, hey, black people, watch this show because we're represented on it. Because I don't feel like I feel like we're kind of represented on it, but I don't feel like we're super represented on it. Like, I feel like the Hurt Business is walking towards what we could be into, but like, I don't feel like I'm represented. I feel like when they try to make a joke out of like my part of the representation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me, kind of?
Yeah, I can see that. Here's my thing. I think like Andrew said, like you can't debate the fact that they have put black wrestlers and other people of color in good opportunities at the moment.
Yes.
And I think that's great. I think that's to be commended. I don't think that we should continue to award brownie points for that.
Yes, I think that's where I stand. Yes.
I think going, this company is doing it, this company's doing it, give them brownie points. It kind of has like it sets the wrong precedent for me, because to me, it's like, yeah, they're doing great things, but they should be doing great things.
Exactly.
They have more talent on their roster than anybody else. They have more black talent on their roster than any other company. So they should be doing this. No other company has Bobby Lashley. No other company has a Kofi Kingston. No other company has a Sasha Banks. I mean, that's not to downplay some of the other black wrestlers that are succeeding other places, but these are some of the biggest stars in the industry that they have, and they're black. Right. And those, those people would be, at the top of their division anywhere, not just WWE.
Right.
So, it's something they should be doing. And so, I feel like when you give them brownie points and be like, okay, well, they're doing it and other people are talking a good game, but they're not doing it. It just to me feels off. It just feels like the same, Wednesday Night War stuff that has gotten a little tired.
Right. And it's like when they posted that graphic. They posted the graphic the other day of Bobby Lashley, Kofi, and The Rock, and it was a caption like "History, trailblazing" something. But it's like, we wouldn't be seeing only 3 people on this graphic if you guys didn't only have 3 WWE champions since 1963. You know what I mean? So if it's like bittersweet. It's like, damn, that's cool. But it's also like, damn, there's only been 3 you guys, and you control the 3. There could be 10. There could be 10 people on this graphic, but there's only 3. Why?
Yeah. So there's 5 technically that are world champions, right? There's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to make this into, they should have did it a long time ago, so I'm gonna be bitter. No, what they're doing is great. I just think what they're doing is great, but they could and should be doing so much more.
Definitely.
And to, when they finally get it right, to go, all those other guys, they can't get out of, first gear. Man, I mean, to be honest with you, I think in terms of Black World Champions right now, Rich is the best because Rich feels like he represents Impact.
Yes.
Rich took his title into a match with Kenny Omega. You can't get much bigger than that.
Right.
I mean, he's held that title strong. Had the big match with Chris Bay. I just know him and Moose are gonna kill it.
Yes.
And I mean, of course, I think he's gonna have a rematch with Omega, and that's gonna be dope. So I think that Impact, and it's not just what they're doing with Rich. They went on a streak for a while where they had black men in main events, and all of them were great. I mean, you had the Chris Bay match, you had Willie Mack versus Moose, which was phenomenal. I mean, they've been doing this. They had the tag match too with Willie Mack, Chris Bay, Rich. Who else was in that match? There was another black wrestler in that match.
Chris Bay, Rich, Moose, I
want to say, I want to say this person that you talking about Trey Miguel?
Yes, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Trey Miguel.
There you go.
So yeah, and that's why I'm like, again, and I don't want to make this into you WWE guys, you want to give them credit for everything, but don't give anybody else credit. I don't want to do that. Like I said, what WWE is doing is great, but I feel like people are trying to use this as a chip on their shoulder against the other company in a way that isn't the gotcha moment that I think they think it is.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm sure people will take that away. It is what it is. But it to me, like I just feel like they could and should be doing better. There's no reason why, if Impact is letting black men, headline shows together, that WWE cannot do the same thing. You've got Keith Lee on the main roster. You've got Ricochet on the main roster. You've got a lot of guys on the main roster that can headline shows.
I was about to say Ricochet, like, I don't know what they're doing with this dude, man. Like, this is like no bullshit. Ricochet is like a generational talent. Like, he really
Ricochet is the guy. Tomorrow they could have a match and he's the WWE champion and we all gonna believe it and he's all gonna be the guy. He's the guy. I don't know why.
Bro, you wanna know what's crazy, bro? I was lit when I was doing my news update today, and I was listening to this interview that TJ Wilson did, Tyson Kidd, who's everybody knows the producer there. Dude, he said the same exact thing. Like when the interviewer had asked him about Ricochet, like always being on main event and not being spotlighted on Raw, and you know what I'm saying, like not being in a prominent position. Like at first you could tell TJ he was like a little flustered a little bit just because he didn't get it either. Like he was I don't know. Like he was like, Ricochet could be the guy. Like he can literally be like, just like you said, Rich. Like any Monday could be his Monday. You know what I'm saying? And people will automatically believe it. And like Ricochet is his athleticism and Ricochet got that kind of like I would even say, I'm gonna say in NXT he had like that real like cool factor about him, bro. And that's another thing that kind of separated him from the pack, and it felt like he kind of lost that when he came up. And then like I don't think that that Brock squash did him any favors. Like I felt like they had a real solid opportunity to present Ricochet in a very, very special light with that Brock match, even though it was over there in Saudi. And they pop for anybody over there.
Right.
Big pop. I'm pretty sure us three walk down there, we get big pops. they pop it. They just happy to see some wrestling, bro. That's all they care about. But like I feel like they missed out on a real, like, and you know what? Let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Let's talk, right? So why every time is it that when a black performer is in the ring with Brock, they get the bare minimum? The bare minimum. We
everybody else gets treated better.
I was just about to get into it, bro. We got, you look at Kofi, his match. You look at Ricochet, his match, and then let's compare that to the match he had with AJ. Yeah. Banger. The match he had with Daniel Bryan. Banger. The match he had with Finn Balor. banger.
Fire,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, because they got offense, bro, and like you can look back at every single last one of those matches, with those respective white wrestlers, who like they get these moments in those matches where you think just for like a little bit, just for like a quick second, that they might actually win. Like when AJ had Brock in the calf crusher, people was like, oh shit, he might do it. When Balor threw Brock into the into the announce table, and he hurt his rear, because everybody know Brock had what Brock got, like diverticulitis or something like that, and everybody kind of amped that up as a part of the story when Bryan low blowed Brock and hit the running knee, and everybody thought it was over. Like, everybody in those matches had that one moment when they thought they was gonna beat Brock. But like when you look at Kofi, what the hell Kofi get? Kofi took off his damn jacket and ran head first into Brock, got F5. And then you look at Ricochet. That Ricochet just got destroyed. Like, he barely got any offense in. You know what I'm saying? So like, when you see those things, like, and it's so like clear as day, it makes people frustrated. It makes black wrestling fans frustrated. And then you got a few on social media like, why do you got to make everything about race? Motherfucker, everything about race. It's always
everything.
About race. It's always
Every single thing,
race,
bro. Come on.
It's always it's never not gonna be about race. It's, you know what? I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on this before I was gonna ask about your thoughts about the You see, I wasn't even trying to get into this, but I was like, we here now. We here now, Reg and Phil. We here. I was gonna ask y'all what y'all think about the Caleb Braxton tweet. Like,
yikes.
Hey,
so subject. Now see. Let me just clarify, right? Kudos to her for coming out. I don't think anybody was targeting her for that.
It felt like that Brandy Rhodes tweet. Remember, Brandy Rhodes was like, "I've been bullied my whole black life," and we were like, "Yo, you didn't have to say that part."
Right. Like, see, the thing with Kayla is like, see, and this is the thing that was kind of like annoying me from the tweets that I saw. Like, I saw a lot of white people saying like they were so disappointed in people for bullying her off the app because she came out, right? And let me just, I'm not gonna say that didn't happen. I'm not gonna say that because I didn't see, but I'm talking about just from what I saw. I saw most black people frustrated at the preface that she put on before she announced that she was coming out, about the whole like, I didn't know if I was black, I didn't know if I was white, and you know what I'm saying, like, and we've seen her make somewhat similar comments in the past, and I may, you know, I'm not gonna be that person that try to harp on her or make her put her in a bad light because she has to figure out growing up as a child, a mixed child, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had to sort that out in her own time, you know what I'm saying? That's a grown ass adult. Like, ain't nobody can't walk her through that park. She got to do that on her own. Right. But like, it was just kind of like real. It was just a weird way to announce something that she should be celebrated for. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just real weird. And I don't think anybody from what I saw didn't have a problem with her announcing that she was coming out. It was just the preface that she put on that the people was like, what was the point of you adding that part? Like, she was like talking about the part like on the, what she said, like on the SAT, she didn't know to check if she was black or white. And I'm like, what, bro?
That Caleb Braxton, why are you saying that?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's just all I had to say on it, bro. I hope I worded that right. I ain't trying to, you know, because I know people. I saw a lot of people like taking like that out of context. Like, they were like, oh, people trying to bully her off the app because she came. I'm like, nobody. Like, from what I saw, nobody was doing that. It was just people were not happy with the whole, you know, prefacing thing that she did prior to her announcement.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that Kayla thing in just a second.
Yeah,
it's some stuff in there that I felt the way about. But I also with this conversation around the companies, because I know that one of the graphics I saw was they had all the world champions from all the other companies. Like, they had Rich on there, they had Bobby, they had Gresham for Ring of Honor, and then they had nobody for AEW. I don't also, I also want to make it clear because I don't want people to be like, oh, we're happy for WWE stuff, so he want to reign up Ray. I'm not reigning. I do believe that both companies can do better. I think all companies can do better.
Yeah.
I do think we need to, stress that AEW can do better. They can and they should do better. I don't think they have the big black star that they should push to the forefront yet. You can make the case that it should be Scorpio, but I think that's a thing they're gonna have to build to because he's been off TV for a while. Right. But at the same time, you can make the case that there are plenty of guys they could have signed. They could have gotten Chris Bay. They didn't.
Yep. Nope.
There are plenty of guys that are phenomenal that are still indie wrestlers that they have not signed.
Yep.
So it's not, I don't want to say that they should get a pass because they're a new company and, WWE has all this history and surplus. So, of course they should be doing better. While that is true, AEW can and should do better as well. And, I do appreciate certain things like having women of color this week, very prevalent on this week's episode of Dynamite, having Nyla make it all the way to the finals in the women's tournament was great. I thought Swole should have been in the tournament. I don't know why she wasn't.
Yep.
I really appreciate what they're doing with Red Velvet. I thought she looked fantastic on Monday night.
Hey,
she looked great.
Hey. Red Velvet and Jade Carg. I'm gonna let you finish, Phil. Go ahead.
They looked great, and I
killed it.
That they used the match with Shaq to put two black women over. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I think Jade looked a little green, but man, you can see all of the star power there. You can see it
bro.
In her mannerisms.
It definitely looked like her first match for sure, though.
Yeah. But I mean, you can see that she's got something. And I mean, the only way I would say she looked green is because Red Velvet was so impressive to me. Like, you could see her experience in that match.
Right.
And you could just see how much more seasoned she was than Jade.
Yeah.
But, to jump into the Kayla thing after that,
Here we go.
I see people do this thing where it's like they want to take the conversation about blackness out of something.
Yes.
And they want to make a conversation about queerness. And look, I'm not gay. I'm not from that community. I cannot speak from anybody for that community. They struggle in ways that we do not.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like sometimes that their struggles are put on a forefront and the struggles of blackness are put on a back bottom. I don't like that. And I feel like her saying that she is other, but also, going out of her way to say that she is bi, of course white people were going to defend her on that because they don't understand what that sounds like. They don't understand why some people might find that offensive. Now, you can call yourself whatever you want. That has nothing to do with me. I can't tell you, I know some people that don't like to be called African American. I know some people that prefer to be called black.
Right.
Whatever you want to call yourself is your thing. If you want to call yourself other, that's cool. But if you're going to proclaim it that way and then, throw at the end, by the way, I'm bi, it's like, it looks away, man. It just looks away. And, again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying that, people from the LGBTQ plus community do not struggle, because they absolutely do. They go through struggles that, are not highlighted enough, to be honest. But, to just throw that out there afterwards, as an afterthought to the fact that you're saying, I consider myself other. I don't know if I would say that I'm black. It's like, you didn't really need to say that, did you?
No, not at all. Could have kept that in the drafts. Keep that in the drafts, bro.
I'm telling you, she should just left like cut the rest of that message off and just left the last two words, and then I'm telling you, she'd have been good. She'd have been good. She'd have been good, bro. But like, I'm like, so, I was just gonna say, like, some people, like, they legitimately like do that to themselves, bro.
They do,
like, They do it to yourself, bro. So.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of one of those, I wanted to get your guys' thing before we get out of here. There was another big match this week. with the black man in a world championship match. Speaking of another company that's doing pretty good with the black representation and Ring of Honor, Shane Taylor took on Roosh this week on Monday for the ROH World Champion, was trying to be the only second ever Ring of Honor World Champion in almost 20 years. You guys catch it?
Yeah, I saw that, man. Kenny King let us down.
Oh my God!
Kenny King let us down, man.
I can't believe Kenny King would do that. Can you imagine?
What was that? What was that? That match aired on the last day of Black History Month.
Man, I can't believe this.
Kenny King had to get his money, man. He was over there with Roosh and Dragon Lee. Kenny already had his side picked out. But nah, man, dude, Shane Taylor, like, that dude is like literally brought Moses and Khan up and got them championships, and we look like he bringing in O'Shea Edwards. Yeah, like when I spoke to O'Shea, like one of the cool things that he shared that he was like Shane Taylor, like when he first approached him about the idea about joining Shane Taylor Promotions, he was like, Shane made sure to not like sell like false dreams, like like trying to like make it seem like, oh yeah, just because you're going to be in the Shane Taylor Promotions group, that don't mean you're going to get signed by Ring of Honor, but we'll try to help you get to that point. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was like real straight up, like, this is a man, bro. Like you not trying to sell this man like no false, you know what I'm saying, no false BS like off the jump, like, hey, you know you gonna be with this ROH affiliated group, so you know you gonna get signed by, like, he kept it straight with him. And then now look at O'Shea, dude got a match on ROH, and hopefully he get another one. He should get another one. Right. But yeah, man, I just thought that was real cool. And Shane Taylor, he's like real solid. Like, he is, man. He's a staple in Ring of Honor. Like, he is. I'm excited to see what they continue to do. Like, I definitely like, and I think that was his first ROH World Title match ever, as long as he been with the company. So it was just cool to see, man. I'm glad. I think I wish he could have had his moment and got the got the big title win, but I'm still glad he got to at least get his first title shot, man. Like, got that out the way, and then like, he's still an ROH World Six Man Tag Team Champion. Like, that match they had with Mexa Squad was insane. Yeah, like, hell yeah. In that match they had with Mexa Squad is insane. But yeah, I'm amped for him, Moses Khan, and O'Shea, and Ron Hunt, and everybody else that they got go over there. I'm pretty sure y'all seen the picture that they took at the tapings with Fred Yehai and Gresham and Lethal and all those. Loved it. Yeah, no, that was a cool last. But they had Eli Isom up in there, man. Shout out to Eli. But yeah, man, you know what? We talking about diversity as far as, like, I mean, because I don't think ROH has a women's division intact right now. But like, we talking about specifically the men's division, and we talking about diversity, like black people. Dude, look at ROH.
They squatted up. They got some game since they added Fred Yehai. That's my dog. Like, they got a squad over there, man.
Right. I mean, getting O'Shea is huge to me. O'Shea is gonna be big. You could just see it. But I mean, that's why, again, I was saying you can't give certain companies a pass because they don't have, the talent to push, because there were guys they could sign and they just didn't. And there's still guys they could sign. And I gotta, you gotta give Ring of Honor a lot of credit for, coming out of the situation with Skrull and picking up, some big name black wrestlers and, giving them spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's say another black wrestler, man, we got to talk about before we get out, man. We got to talk about this brother Leo Rush, man. Hey, Reg. My man left the challenge on his own accord. He ain't get eliminated, so they owe him a spot, bro.
I know. I didn't like it, but when he started talking about the group home and stuff, I felt it, man. I tell you.
We root for the real though. We root for the real.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. He just got his goal scored last night. Let's get it.
Reg, I ain't see the episode.
Oh no, my bad.
Come on, bro.
Spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. Look, spoiler alert on what I just said. Edit this interview, bro. Damn.
Nah, man. But Leo, he on the you owe me one for that, bro. You crazy. crazy, bro. Just spoil the whole episode. I'm about to be dry faced and watching the whole episode now. No
Oh
emotion.
man.
Nah, man.
Damn.
But Leo, like, he's on the New Japan roster page now.
Yo, that one day, remember the one day with was it the Super J Cup and then the Impact show with Rich Swann and Chris Bay? Oh my God, that was a fire day of wrestling right there.
He the AAA Cruiserweight champion. Like, dude, Leo is making big plays coming out of WWE. And like, I know we talked about it last time. I know we had a long conversation. All three of us had a long conversation about, like the Mark Henry thing with Leo and all the stories that came out as far as like how people kind of treated him a certain way when he was in WWE and stuff like that. So it's just cool to see him get all these W's professionally, like inside and outside of the ring, and like doing the I think he's doing the Power Rangers movie and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just cool to see him win, man. And then I know he's facing Lee Moriarty. That's another one right there. Like I would be extremely surprised if Lee isn't signed somewhere by the end by the end of this year. I think somebody gonna snatch him up. I do think he's really great for the independent scene. Like I genuinely think that he's like just a great fit for the independent scene. Meaning as far as like I think he helps a lot. But I think it's only a matter of time, bro.
AEW's gonna have to get him, right? Yeah, I would think he's gonna go to AEW
for sure.
Like, bro, I'm giving it till August.
Yeah,
for somebody sign him. Like I'm either saying Ring of Honor get him, Impact's gonna get him, or AEW's gonna get him. Like it's all or he might go to NXT. You never like.
I mean, he might just want to kick it with New Japan. I mean, if you're,
there you go.
That might just be the dream right there.
Because that's kind of what Leo's doing right now. Is just he's on the independent scene, but like I'm like 100% sure that like if the pandemic wasn't happening, Leo would be in Japan right now.
Yeah.
Like or like let's say the WWE releasing and all that still happened, but there was no pandemic. I think he would definitely be in Japan right now.
I think so.
We can't forget about the that good man ACH over there. When I saw he was rocking the Brody King mask the whole match.
Hoodie ACH, man.
Hoodie ACH.
Ooh, fire.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't say enough good things about what Leo's doing. Super happy for the guy, man. A lot of people wrote him off, and it's just good to see him win. Like Andrew said, man. Hopefully he gets some more opportunities and gets his belt collector gimmick off. Just like some other people are trying to do.
With that Ultimo Dragon, that
yes, sir.
For real.
I need the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship to be around. It needs to happen.
Right.
Hey, Hiromu out for 6 months. I
need it to happen, man.
Hey, let's say, but Reg, we talking about world champions. Can't forget about Miss Trisha Dora, man. Can't forget about her.
Always. You can never forget about Trish. She's had an hour iron match against Tony Deppen and Beyond Wrestling. It was insane. She just like the way that she works, you just like I don't know if she can ever be a heel because you just always get behind her. It's impossible, ain't it?
She a baby face, bro. Like she just look like but she's just a nice person, bro.
Right.
Like
that's what I'm also adding
buy
on
her.
It.
Yeah, I can't buy her. It's just like this mean.
I'm just like, yeah, she is so nice, bro.
Yeah, man. I think last year she was right up there with Thunder Rosa in terms of like one of the best women's wrestlers in the world.
Yep, definitely.
And she just didn't have the bookings to be put in that same conversation exactly. I think this year she's coming out quick, getting a bunch of bookings. I think she's going to be at the top of a lot of lists by the end of the year.
Definitely.
Like, you want to know the one thing that I think Trish has done over the past year or so that I think has really like turned her up a little bit. Like y'all know I be into the wrestling news and stuff like that. I can't tell y'all how many like times I've seen Trisha Dora in media interviews, like with so many different outlets, bro. Like I think
like
that
since you interviewed her, remember that? Like
bro,
she's done hella since you've done that interview.
I spoke to her in November 2019, and I know the pandemic, kind of slowed everybody down, but like I want to say like in August or like July or like it was the summer, dude, she was everywhere, bro. Like she was doing interviews with Cultaholic, she was doing interviews with Wrestle Talk, she was doing interviews with like local news outlets. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just everywhere doing interviews with, like bro. Let me just say this, like black wrestlers. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro.
Right.
I get that some look at wrestling media and they view it in the limelight of the quote unquote dirt sheet, and I fucking hate that word because it's like puts like all of us in the same bubble when some of us do like really good work and then all of us kind of shoved into this one thing. Like I hate that, bro. It genuinely annoys me. I'm trying to tell black wrestlers, bro, if y'all are listening to this, I promise you, do media. Right. I'm telling you, like, just ain't nobody saying you got to do fucking rinky dink podcast. Like, you don't have to do that. You can pick your spots, but like, you do media. I'm telling you, that stuff gets you out there. News sites cover that. They see some like, and you ain't gotta go on a podcast and say some controversial shit to get coverage. You don't have to do that. It's that's like you can say something positive. You can talk about like, and the thing I like about wrestling media more is like more sites are starting to cover more stuff about race. Like more headlines about race, like we starting to see a lot of like even stuff about like the about Bianca Belair and Sasha headlining, possibly headlining Mania. Like a lot of sites are starting to like focus in on the two black women doing this. You know what I'm saying? Right. They start physically write that out, and like, dude, you don't like. I just want more black wrestlers to start doing media, and that's kind of like a double thing for me. That's kind of me one that selfishly, but at the same time, I'm gonna call it what it is. Like
he's like, I want you guys to do media specifically over here with me.
With me, exactly. Call the spade, bro. I ain't even gonna try to act like that wasn't for me. But like,
just email Andrew. He'll get you interviewed right now.
I'm telling you, we can set it tonight. We can set it up tonight. I'll hop on Zoom with you at 12 a.m. We can do it.
Straight up. Anytime.
I'm telling you, like, black wrestlers, bro, like, I know some of y'all, like, are real cautious. And I mean, not even just black wrestlers. I know a lot of wrestlers are just cautious in general.
Wrestlers in general, yeah.
Bro, because they don't want what they say to get taken out of context. And so sometimes you just say stuff in the heat of the moment when you're just talking and don't even realize you said it. And then next thing you know.
Right.
So you getting quote tweeted for something you said in an interview. But like, I'm telling you, all you gotta do is just pick your spot, pick the right outlet that you think won't misconstrue anything you say, or don't try to like bait and switch you into saying something. Like, just do media, bro. I'm telling, like, literally, I'm not saying that's exactly what got Trisha Dora, like, on this uptick during the pandemic. But you got to think they had to play a role in it because she's like literally been everywhere in so many different media outlets. And bro, she's literally doing nothing but getting her name out there to many different, like when you're doing interviews with people in the UK, some people might not even have heard of Trisha Dora, but now she's doing interviews with some of the biggest sites out there in the UK, and that ain't know what Trisha Dora is. That equals in followers, that equals in other promotions might be able to look at her once the pandemic is over. They're like, oh, did you interview such and such, and who's Trisha Dora? Let's bring her in just to see what she do. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Like, somebody's always watching, bro. Like, somebody's always looking at something. You just don't know. So do media with me, but do media.
I definitely agree. It's a lot of black indie wrestlers that should be doing more press. And man, to piggyback off that, all of you media companies, man, I'm looking all around this industry, man. All of you media companies, hire black writers, man.
Oh my God!
To interview these wrestlers, man.
Guys,
we're coming with a different perspective that a lot of people are not asking. There's sometimes I talk to people and I ask them questions that I don't feel like anybody else is asking them. And that isn't because I feel like, I'm that much better at my job than they are. But I feel like, we bring a different voice and perspective to this industry, and there needs to be more black voices out there. Hire more black women, hire more black men, hire more queer individuals, hire black people, man. I just cannot say that enough. I see, every now and then I'll tweet that, and I'll see a lot of people retweet it, but I don't see y'all hiring them. So
exactly. Man. Same here.
I mean, hire more black people, man. I just think that is, and I have to say that I'm very proud that I see a lot more, not just more vocal black fans out there, but I see a lot more black people trying to do podcasting and trying to do media stuff. And I think that's great. I mean, I just think, there needs to be more of us, man.
Right.
That's like just piggybacking off what Phil said, like when you see a lot of people retweeting it, but like don't make the plays to actually get more black people into those specific spaces. I'm like doing it because it look good. You know what I'm saying? And it's so many ways that you can incorporate black voices into these spaces, bro. Like you can literally just help the next person by getting up, or a simple retweet or something along those lines, or like even the people that had the position to hire people like on specific websites, or you see so many talk about how they looking for the next, like not even next black, they're looking for black voices to bring it on, and then when it's time to do that, it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? That we see that so frequently, that happens so often. And it's not even just in wrestling, bro. Like we see that in music. Like you know how many times we see these articles, bro, like when it's like a popular black artist doing this interview, doing this, and then you got like a white journalist getting the full scoop on it, and that's not to discredit them or their journey or whatever they had to go through to get where they at, but like, bro, like get that type of project to a black writer, bro.
Like I know
they just like I feel like those black writers in the music space just bring something completely different than like a white writer could in that specific scenario.
It's like Bow Wow. If I want to do this little Bow Wow interview, if you're talking wrestling, like talk to me. If you come and talk to some, if Bow Wow comes and talk to some random white nerd, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed.
You know what's happening. I think I had seen. I think it was you, Reg, who commented on one of Bow Wow's things, because he was interacting with everybody.
Yeah.
And like I saw you comment on one of his things, and you was like, if you do it, you better not do an interview with no white man.
No, dude. Don't. They're not gonna know what to ask you. They're gonna be like, you haven't had a hit since 2002.
Hey, wait. So we gotta get into this, right? Look. Oh, firstly, before we get back to the music thing, because I got something I wanted to say on that. And shout out to Darius Lockhart, man. Like, cause I know he coming back from his I think what he had a torn pec or something like that.
Yeah.
Shoulder. It was something in the torso area. So yeah, I'm glad to see him back. He gonna be wrestling Brian Keith at the show. So
that's gonna be fire.
Brian Keith is from Reality of Wrestling, right?
Yep. Yeah, okay. Texas.
Yeah, he's from Reality of Wrestling. Yeah,
speaking of Reality of Wrestling, not to step on your point, super happy for AQA getting
shout out to AQA, man.
AQA
super excited for her.
Opportunity with the shooting star press over there, man.
Oh my God. You guys think they're gonna let her do it?
Oh yeah, of course. Man,
I hope so, man.
They gotta let her do it, man.
Mistake if they don't. Her shooting.
I'm like, dude, who does a top rope move, a woman in WWE? Ember Moon?
Other than like EO,
EO.
I mean, I know Bianca got a 450,
but no one has anything. Bianca did used to do the 450.
Bianca, she got the 450, but that's like one of her like in the bag. Like
she's busting that out at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So hey, bro, Sasha taking all that.
Sasha definitely.
Sasha. Hey, hold on, wait. Do y'all remember when that gif of Ember Moon doing the suicide dive out to Sasha on the barricade? But she drilled her, bro. I was like, Jesus. I don't know. Sasha a trooper for that. But back to this music thing, right? When they was talking about Soulja Boy, right? This is the thing, right? people like this thing kind of like really showed me how much this like some people are like just seriously in the pro wrestling bubble and have no idea of what goes on outside of pro wrestling. Like people was like, but Soulja Boy's not even a big artist, bro. Do y'all know what this man did for music for the internet? It like
they
internet,
don't. That's
like,
the thing,
bro. This man, he was like one of the like no bullshit, like legitimately like one of the pioneers of like the internet, like music culture, like the streaming and all that shit. Like, bro, Soulja Boy was ahead of the game with that. Like, I know people clown him that. And look, so Soulja Boy had his moments. All right, look, everybody ain't perfect, bro. But with the whole especially that video when he was talking about what he did when somebody tried to get in his house and he was
blam. Yeah. You talking about the Vlad interview?
Yeah, the Vlad TV.
Blam. See, they don't include that because they don't know. They don't know that Breakfast Club interview like shut down the whole like we were all saying Drake for days, for weeks, for months.
Now we're talking about fake.
Exactly. like, bro, come on. They're talking about 2007 music. Like, yo, it's deeper than what you know, man. It's deeper than that.
So Reggie, Phil, I wanted to ask y'all. Reggie, we'll go to you first, and then I got to hear Phil's on this too. What did y'all think of Mr. Randall Orton? When he was going back and forth with Soulja Boy, and then he left the dot after the big ass. Wait, did y'all see the wait? So first of all, I don't think that was cool. But like comments, bro.
Oh my god!
I say the one dude they had a meme of the dude point. He was like, "Say it."
Yeah. That's It seems it's too close. You know what I mean? That ... is like, yo, ... what? For real, Trevor. ... what, bro? What are you really saying here?
It's the Twitch stream.
Exactly. I flash right back to that. I know exactly what you about to say, bro. No, but I didn't like it. I don't like when wrestlers get out of character and like, you know what I mean? Like, Bow Wow and Soulja Boy are doing wrestling promos. Like, the young black people were raised up on like, if you're a wrestler, you do promos. You talk like fucking Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and you say, I'm gonna beat your ass, even though I'm playing a character like you are. And all these wrestlers are just straight to come over here. I'll really beat you up. I'll really do. I'm like, no, they're trying to play this game that you're playing, but you're over here getting offended before they can even say anything. Like, this is why they don't want to come into these spaces, because the wrestlers and the fans are brutal. Yeah. They're brutal. They don't let anybody get anything off before they come in with their, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about this?
Yeah. I'm gonna just say it. I didn't like what Mr. Randall Keith Orton said. I thought there was a lot of.
Phil, real quick, I did want to just to add on to your point, because I wanted you to add in this as well, because I know you got real good with comparisons. Like, why do you think people are so accepting of Bad Bunny opposed to Bow Wow and Soulja Boy? Do you think it's just because Bad Bunny is like really he don't be on social media? I think he don't give a fuck like about the social media shit. I think he cares about wrestling. Like, I think he's having fun, but like as far as the social media shit, I really don't think he cares at all. But like, do you think it's just because of that? Just because Bow Wow and Soulja Boy are reachable as far as like you can get a response out of them, and opposed to like Bad Bunny, you can't really get that type of reaction from him as far as like social media goes?
I think it's some of that. But this is part of why I didn't like what Orton and a few other people did. Bad Bunny is coming from a place that you can't really knock him down. I saw a lot of goofy, who's Bad Bunny, and a lot of this other stuff. But see, he's on such a high right now. He's the top streaming artist in the world. You can't really knock him down with that, because if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, that's not on him, that's on you.
Right.
So and he doesn't say a lot, like Andrew said, he doesn't say a lot. He keeps it to the performance, and of course it's seen as, you know, a sign of respect because he loves the industry and he's been there. He's been backstage a lot. They know him. Let's get into the fake talk.
Yes.
I feel like that's where there's the disconnect for me. The Soulja Boy tweet and him saying, you know, rap game is faker than WWE. Now, I know there's a lot of this with with Bow Wow, and people are like, you know, you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to cut promos like that. You're not in the business. You haven't earned that yet. And on some level, that's fair because it's like it almost feels like, you know, you gotta shit or get off the pot, right? You can't be like, you know, I'm training, I'm trying to do this. If you train, you try to do this, then like, okay, let's go, let's do it. Like, right. You know, get in there and, you know, get your feet wet, you know, come to the shows. If Bad Bunny can go to the shows and be backstage, you can go to shows and be backstage, and, you know, start rubbing the same elbows. And he could be, you know, making moves to do that. We don't know. But there's a lot of, you know, down talking that I didn't really care for. There's a lot of, you know, almost like these punk kids talk that I didn't really care for.
I didn't like it.
And it was like, you know, because the thing is, I don't think Soulja Boy meant like all wrestling is fake. And that was the crazy thing about it to me, because he very specifically said, you know, it's faker than WWE. But I saw a lot of indie wrestlers trying to jump on him too. He didn't even say nothing to y'all. So I think my thing is, he's not saying in a sense that he's saying wrestling is fake. I think he's saying it's scripted. It's clearly an act.
Right.
Like, you know, y'all are, you know, y'all might bump and y'all might do stuff that's physical, but the storylines, you know, people that y'all get in there and act like y'all don't get along with and y'all feud with, y'all will go out to lunch with somebody that same night. You know, so that's what he's talking about.
That's saying, how rappers are. Rappers will say, I hate this rapper, and then go do a song with them.
That's the exact analogy. It's like he's just saying, you know, people will claim they have beef behind closed doors, and they'll get out there and put certain energy out there. But, you know, then it's like, oh, that's my guy. Let's do a record. Like, that's what he means by that.
Exactly.
And that's the comparison he was making. He wasn't being like, wrestling is fake. Y'all are suckers. Y'all making yourself look like suckers because y'all come to him and said, we can beat you up, you know, little dude, you know, why don't you go sell your chain and earn it? Like, homie, he made millions of dollars before that. This cat made millions of dollars as a teenager. What are we talking about, man?
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing with Bow Wow. It's like, we act like this dude is washed. Like, no, man. We're not going to act like Bow Wow wasn't a superstar at some point, and he was making more money than a lot of wrestlers.
This one was a platinum artist as like an 8-year-old. Like, come on.
Come on, man. We're not doing that, man. I mean, it's the same thing with like Soulja, and, you know, you now playing, you know, his impact on music, and, you know, making it seem like, you know, I mean, just like I just sat here and said, you know, Bad Bunny is where he is, and you can't really knock him down a peg because he's so successful. Bad Bunny is succeeding based off of things that Soulja helped revolutionize.
Yep. Boom.
Yep. He is a top streaming artist in the world who helped to revolutionize streaming.
Right.
Soulja did. You gotta give him his credit for it, man.
Straight up.
Big Soulja.
Big Soulja.
Yeah, man,
Stop playing with him.
It was a lot of down talk that I didn't really care for, man. And I felt like there was a lot of people applauding down talk. And there were people in our culture that know better than that, and they know.
Yes.
And it's like, why are y'all applauding? It's nasty to me, man. Like, it's real nasty.
I hate it.
It's like
there's black wrestlers that are like, yeah, Randy Orton, great job. I'm like,
bro,
wait a second,
killing me with that, bro.
Hold on, yo, wait, what?
It's black wrestling fans that know what he meant. That were applauding. Like, I gotta give my guy's a Tiger Driver, you know. I gotta give them their credit because they were like, do you know how many times we've seen that line used in a rap song? Exactly.
Right.
This is not a jab at professional wrestling as an industry. No. And this is him basically using the comparison that y'all are acting. Y'all are capping, man.
And so these fools are talking about, I'm on the road for 300. Nobody's talking about bumps. Nobody's talking about nobody's talking about none of that shit, bro.
That's the stuff that was killing me. You know, I'm out here busting my ass every. I'm like, bro, he's not even man, bro.
He's not even talking about that. Like, why we taking it there? Like, why are we taking this to a toughness conversation and a masculinity conversation? You doing that with Soulja because you see him as this little skinny dude, and you think you can pop up on him. Nah,
Right.
man, I don't think that's the guy you want to
Y'all
pop
better
up
stop
on.
playing.
Man.
Stop playing
Come
with
on
Big.
now.
Yeah.
Playing
I'm
with
not
Big
gonna,
Draco, man.
That's why he was
allegedly.
laughing too.
Stop
Allegedly. Yes,
playing with Big.
allegedly.
Stop playing with Big Draco,
And that's the
man.
same thing he was
Playing
thinking. He's
with-
like, Randy Orton, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I got guns. Or, allegedly. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Then you had Alexa Bliss trying to come at Soulja, man.
Yeah, get out of here. Oh,
Hey,
my
hey,
I was
God.
like, Bliss.
This is why I'm saying it's nasty too, man. Because it's like y'all out here down talking rap. Y'all out here acting like, oh, you were this then, or you. But y'all trying to get all this clout off of responding to them.
Right.
Y'all trying
Right.
to get energy off of them. Y'all trying to ride off of their acclaim, but you're saying they don't have any. How does that work?
Right.
It's
Especially when they
wild.
found the tweet, the Soulja Boy tweet was already 3 days old when the homie responded to it. So, like,
This
you went to go find this.
somebody probably tagged him in it, and he was like, "Oh, what's this?" And that's why I'm like, to me, it made Randy look real old. It made Randy look old and out of touch. Now, as far as
Randy
the
stopped
suspect,
listening to rap music. He done been listening a little bit too much, as we heard from that Twitch situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget.
man, I don't know, man. I felt like he was doing a lot of talking, and it seemed like he didn't understand the situation, and he just totally overreacted to it. Now, as
Right.
far as the suspect ellipses at the end of that hey man, it was a lot of hip hip hooraying for this dude during Black Lives Matter, and I'm not touching that. Like, I feel like we jumped over the fact that this dude never apologized for what he said.
Right.
And we just
Right.
move on to Hotep Randy. Nah, man.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
chill.
that, man. Like I said, it's nasty to me. I don't like it. I don't like
Yeah.
it. And
No,
I had
I
to
feel
just,
you.
bite my tongue on it because I saw a lot of people were rolling with it. But I was like, nah. Y'all think it's cool because y'all get Snoop to come in every now and then.
Right.
And y'all get this person to come in, and Bad Bunny's on y'all show. So
Right.
y'all are hip. And there's a reason why y'all don't look hip in certain circles, because y'all look out of touch, man.
Exactly.
So I was about to say, last thing, man. We are in the clear of Miss Carmella being involved in the title picture, ladies and gentlemen. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are occupied at Fastlane because they will be defending their tag titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Here we go.
What?
It's official.
Why are we getting match back?
Yeah, we just saw that match.
Nia and Shayna defending the gold against Banks and Belair
Why?
at Fastlane. It is official.
Why is that not Naomi and Lana? Are they ever going to get that match?
What?
Yeah, so it look, so to me, what I read that is, we don't know how we gonna get all the way to Mania, so we gonna put the tag titles on them and have them feud over that, and then they gonna split.
Oh
and then,
my God, I
yeah,
hate that.
that's
I
happening.
hate it. They did that. I remember they did that with John Cena and The Miz.
And Shawn, they do that with Shawn Michaels too. They did that with Cena.
Yeah, they did.
They did that with Cena and Batista.
Cena did it with all of his opponents ever.
Yeah, every time. But I feel like that's their go-to move when they don't know how to get to Mania. Like
That's classic WrestleMania builds.
Bro, like I feel like they don't know what to do with Banks and Belair going for. That's why I kind of feel like they had to delay her announcement so long, because they just didn't know what to do. And like now, I feel like this is like last minute option. Okay, we got to put the tag titles on them, have a feud over it, because like Nia already pinned Sasha.
You know what? It really sucks because then that takes away from Bianca's win, because she already won a belt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see you win the tag belts. I want to see you win the SmackDown Championship. Like, where are you talent for the tag belts? I don't care about that. You won the Royal Rumble.
Like the only positive I guess I can see out of this is maybe to them, they see both Sasha and Bianca as baby faces right now, and they need to turn one of them. So maybe Sasha already got pinned by Nia. So maybe Bianca takes the pin this time and she gets frustrated and she turns, or maybe Sasha
Why don't they
turns.
give a tag team that's been an actual tag team tag team
yeah.
match? Oh my God, they hate tag team wrestling so much.
Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, y'all, I feel like y'all gonna get me in trouble with this podcast because I saw a lot of stuff that was going on with this Bow Wow stuff and the Soulja Boy stuff and some other stuff, man. I feel like they always want to throw, one of these women in here to try and get you know, glom some clout off these guys like
Right.
tried to do with Cardi, and it looked dumb. It's like, man, what are we doing? It's like, if Cardi is telling you she used to be a wrestling fan, why didn't you do the same thing you did for Damien and position her next to somebody like Bianca? Why aren't we working towards Cardi doing Bianca's WrestleMania entrance?
Right.
It's like, why are we trying to build to a match? Not all of these celebrities want to wrestle, man.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
hey,
what
bro,
they got to figure out.
You wanna know what's crazy? Like this, it's funny you just mentioned that. Like, it literally just came to my head. Reg, you know Teasy, right? From the from
Swerve podcast. Yeah.
They made a song for Charlotte Flair, right? They made it was just a song. They made a song for Charlotte, and they played it for her in person. And Charlotte was like, she wanted them to play it, like to perform it at WrestleMania, if she's not if she's gonna be on the show, but she said if she's gonna be on the. Come on, now, she's gonna be on the show. But yeah, she was like, she want him, TZ, and Swerve to perform it at the Mania show. And I'm like, bro, just like little stuff like that, you just never know. Like, and like the piggyback on what Phil said, like, you gotta take those chances, man. And like that every performer is like has the stroke like Charlotte to be like, I'm pretty sure Charlotte, if she wants that done, that will get done. Like if she wants TZ and Swerve to play that song for her at Mania, it will happen. All she gotta do is ask. And not every performer got stroked like that. But like if you got Cardi saying she wants to come in, like, of course.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You should be positioning her next to somebody the same way you're doing with Damien. To jump off your point, like that's basically what Cole did for Wrestling Flow, man. It got him on NXT TakeOver. And I mean, I'm surprised that he hasn't done more themes. Like, there's no reason why he recorded a theme for Shawn Spears, and he hasn't recorded a single theme song for anybody at WWE.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Not at all.
I think Cameron Grimes is using his theme now, like that. But that's okay. That's like the first in like a minute though, bro. Like I know you talking about like live performances. Like I definitely think he should. Like what was the one when he came out with the like, I think he came out like with the whole roster. That I think that was when NXT was on USA.
Yeah.
And that was after he rapped Cole out to the ring. That was like, yeah. So yeah. So we talking about Josiah Williams, right?
Yeah.
We talking about, yeah. So yeah, I think he using he made a theme for Cameron Grimes, and Cameron Grimes using that. And I think that motherfucker really hit the what he hit like a big stop or something, like bro, he's like really rich, bro. Like that shit is crazy. That's funny.
Cameron Grimes.
That's funny, bro.
Kiss my grits.
Like bro, imagine you out injured and then you just decide you was going to play the stocks or whatever, like put your money in some stocks and then you get rich. Well, yeah, all right, WWE. Let me get some stock. Vince.
Hey, I would have been having a meeting. I'd be like, hey, this wrestling thing is cool, but is there some equity that I can get my hands on? Like, I'm just trying to see.
Let me get a little piece, a couple of them shares.
I don't know, man. I just want, as much as they're cozying up next to rappers right now, I just want people to understand the moment and don't let it pass. I mean, you got so many other guys. If there are fans, and I mean, don't get me started on how there were fans jumping on, yeah, Randy, because he ain't never took a bump. I just want to get in the ring with you once. Homie, you've never took a bump. Be quiet. Like, you're not in the industry. Why you jumping on what Randy's saying? Get out of here, man. Like, y'all got to shut up. So,
tell him, Phil.
But so, even with that, it's like, when you get all of these guys that are like, man, oh, this guy's washed, or this guy is a nobody. Okay, there are guys that aren't nobodies that love wrestling, man. Like, man, you got your currencies of the world. You got, I mean, they've used Wale. I mean, Westside Gun. I mean,
they haven't had Westside Gun. Come on, you guys.
There's so many guys, and Westside is always backstage and doing other stuff wrestling. There's so many guys that they could bring in if they really wanted to. And
is Vince Staples a wrestling fan?
I sorta, but you never know how to read Vince.
Right? Yeah.
No, because I've seen him like make some like tweets about wrestling, but like I don't know if that's just like you know what I'm saying, like how people from childhood, like you remember
Right.
some stuff like, and that was just tweets like that. I didn't know if he was like actively like still like, or he was just
I
like
don't think
reflecting on like
actively.
yeah, right.
I think
It's
he just
probably
looking
like
back to
just
the
childhood.
past.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but even if it's not him, I mean, Smoke Dizza, Action Bronson,
Yeah,
all
hella.
of these guys are
Like,
rap
how
fans.
haven't you had Action Bronson wrestling? Like, he wants to so bad. If they called him tomorrow and were like, Action Bronson, we need you, he would have been there.
Mhm.
But they just don't look to things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think, if the move is that, Soulja and Bow Wow are so beneath y'all because they don't really have any star power, which is ridiculous. But man, there are guys that are current and they are making great music right now, and they have fan bases that you should be trying to reach.
I just want to know why they had to put Soulja Boy. Why is Soulja Boy and Bow Wow on this different levels that they have to earn all this? They've never told one celebrity to earn their respect, or you haven't taken a bump. You can't talk to me. You can't, like, why are these
Here
two
we go.
guys on this different? Why this is different than what y'all did over here with Bad Bunny and Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman and all, like all these different. Pat McAfee, you didn't tell Pat McAfee nothing. Y'all was marking out for everything he did, and he was burying wrestlers on NXT. He was burying fools.
Dog, Pat McAfee was doing literally the exact same thing that Bow Wow and Soulja. I'm calling people internet Mars, talking about the dirt sheets,
I
talking
got
about
money,
how
don't talk to me, all the same.
all that. Like I was rich before I got into wrestling.
Yep,
all of the exact same things.
And they were just like, "That's great, Pat. Yeah, you should be on TV."
He's such a great heel. Like like,
he's such a great.
He's such a great heel. Like
Soulja Boy, nope. You have to earn your respect, earn my respect, and take a bump before you even talk to me.
Soulja Boy, you haven't been on the road. My grandfather, my father, blood, sweat, and tears in this business. Like all that bullshit right there. You know what I'm saying? like
in this business.
I don't even get the idea that Soulja wants to be involved with.
No, he doesn't.
I think it was just a throwaway tweet and people jumped all over it.
He didn't even care.
Bro,
I think Bow Wow is like, he wants to do this, but I think Soulja Boy kind of got caught in the middle of them trying to go, oh, here go these rappers. It's like, man, y'all sound real old right now, man.
Definitely.
Bro, the only person I've seen like with just a lick of sense in this whole situation was Biggie, because Biggie said, I was listening to this interview Biggie did. Biggie said, look, I'm telling you, we could get so much out of this. He was like, if you just bring Soulja Boy onto one show and have him go face to face with Orton, can you imagine the coverage that they could get? They could get. Ain't nobody saying Soulja Boy got to get in there and fucking do a 450.
This is how you know they don't have any black people on the staff. Because if I was on staff, Soulja Boy would have been there on Monday.
Get him, bro,
in the ring.
Bro,
bring Soulja Boy.
Bro, I'm telling you, I would have been like, Soulja, come on, like, hey, do your quarantine. Let's get you.
Yeah, something.
Let's get you in the Thunderdome, bro.
People on there because they didn't say nothing. They didn't mention it on the broadcast. Nothing. Not a tweet. Not nothing.
Now see if they had Moral would have said it. If they'd have had Moral would have brought it up.
That's a fact.
Moral got all the references.
He would have referenced it.
He definitely would have referenced it, and they was mad at Moral every time he was talking some shit.
Yeah,
we got the big Draco under the ring, and
he would have said that too.
But the real big Draco. Moral funny as hell, bro. Hey, bro.
That's hella funny.
Hey, hold on, and one last thing. I know we've been saying one last thing for like the past.
I'm trying to get y'all for an hour. The same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna talk to these fools for an hour. 2 hours later, we still going at it.
Have y'all seen this conversation about people saying Sasha Banks came off too full of herself in the Austin interview?
What?
Have y'all seen? I know you probably know what I'm talking about, but I've seen quite a few conversations about how they're like, oh man, she needs to tone it down, and I missed her when she was on the come up, and Like I'm like, you missed her when she was on the come up. I'm like, what you really trying to say, bro?
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, when you guys used to say Sasha's ratchet, what about that?
You know what, man? That's a whole can of worms, right? That's a whole can of worms right there, man. For a Full Sail, we remember.
People don't forget Full Sail.
We remember Full Sail. Y'all ain't slick. Sasha's ratchet. We
remember y'all trying to call EO Chinese and all.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we didn't forget.
Hey, nah, bro. EO hilarious for that though, bro. For a response, she funny as shit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was a whole different thing. Like they thought we forgot about what they used to call Sasha and Full Sail. Didn't forget Winter Park, Florida.
Y'all. We did not forget, bro.
Paul Levesque. We ain't forget.
All right, look. Andrew trying to burn all the bridges, so that is definitely where we're going to end this.
What I mean, so the Austin interview was cool though. Like, did you guys watch it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I didn't see it.
It was really good.
I seen part of it. It's good, bro. For the part I seen. It's real good.
But I've watched people every time she gets a sound bite. Like, remember when she was saying, you know, she's better than Beyonce and all that other stuff, which is clearly like her healing.
She's a character,
bro. Character, yeah.
And some people are like, oh, see, she talking too much. Or when she was saying, you know, she was better than Booker and all this other stuff, and you know, she's the best women's wrestler ever and all this other stuff. I'm like, I mean,
Booker was really mad. Oh my god!
I was like, all this stuff is character stuff. Like, what are we doing? It's
we ain't even gonna get into King Booker out. We ain't gonna get in my man. We gonna.
Homie was really mad at Sasha, bro. He went on a rant for like 4 weeks.
Hey, I will say, man, my man Booker wasn't having none of what Matt Riddle was talking about in that last one. He was talking about how what he said about the Undertaker and how he was saying, you know, oh, well, those guys, they say stupid stuff. And he was like, you know, I just want to know who he's talking about. I was like,
Oh, man.
I was like, all right, man, you know, get that off, Booker.
Booker T put hands on Batista one time. He ain't never stopped faking, bro.
He gonna keep bringing it up. That's a fact.
You know, I hear you. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems like there's a lot of anger that comes black women way when they all of a sudden get really confident. And that's how I'm going to leave off that, man. I think there's a lot of, you know, hate for black women in this industry, not just inside the industry, from the fan base. It just permeates throughout the industry, and people act like it's not there, but it is very clearly there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's prevalent throughout. That's why this WrestleMania moment is so huge. And we're going to be there celebrating this like never before. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are going to main event WrestleMania. If they don't main event, you just don't want to see it. So, Andrew and Phil, I appreciate y'all. We went 2 hours again because all the topics, we just have to go over them. We have to hear Phil get angry about...
This is supposed to be like a 1 hour podcast.
He only gave me a little. You didn't really get into Apollo Crews as much as I wanted you to, but I'm gonna let you go, though. I'm gonna let you go.
You know, I just want to be fair to the man. You know, I'm trying to be fair.
Straight up.
Quick shout out to the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Kieran Hogan and Taka Steels, man.
Straight up.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them.
And Jazz, another one, and she's in Impact too. Like, Impact's really letting it go.
Career resurgence.
Boom.
Jazz is having career resurgence.
All right, so before we go, y'all let us know where we can find your stuff at.
Go ahead, Phil.
You can find me on Twitter at PhilDL616. You can find my writing at Bleach Report and Daily DDT.
You follow me on Twitter at AD Thompson __. I just retweet those.
I need to start doing that.
For real, that's a fact.
I just retweet, bro. Check my interviews over there.
Drew really be hiding. I'm
gonna let that slide. Man.
And I'm sorry about the challenge, man. I let that one slip, like
I-
spoilers. You know,
Hey,
man.
hey, we ain't never doing another podcast before I get to watch the challenge. I'm telling you, 'cause I was planning to watch that after this.
I owe you one, Drew, man. I'm sorry. It's a good. Just watch it, okay?
But you about to tell me who won?
Now, I'm not gonna tell you nothing. This has been the Black Wrecellence podcast with
Go.
Righteous Reg, Phil Lindsey, and Andrew Thompson. We appreciate y'all. Big peace.